All right, let's dive right in, shall we?
Yeah.
Today we're tackling a what-if battle for the ages. Mike Tyson going up against Angela Mao.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a clash of styles. You've got the boxing world's undisputed knockout king versus the queen of martial arts cinema.
Exactly. And we've got a whole stack of articles and fight breakdowns analyzing this hypothetical showdown. It's really fascinating stuff. We're talking raw power against finesse, a boxer's knockout punch versus lightning-fast martial arts techniques.
Yeah, like Tyson, especially during his prime back in the late 80s, was just an absolute monster in the heavyweight division.
Right. I mean, what made him so formidable?
Well, it wasn't just his physical strength, though that was obviously a huge factor. He was incredibly fast, almost unbelievably so for a heavyweight.
Yeah, you don't often hear speed and heavyweight in the same sentence.
Exactly. And then you add in that knockout power he had in both hands. It was a recipe for destruction.
I've always heard those old-timers talk about him being ferocious, aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. His style, the peekaboo guard, it let him bob and weave, almost like he was dancing around his opponents.
Yeah, I've seen clips. It's mesmerizing.
Then bam, he'd unleash these incredibly powerful punches from these unexpected angles. It was something else. You just didn't see that kind of speed and power combined in heavyweights very often.
So he was like a heavyweight with the agility of a much lighter boxer.
Pretty much. It was completely overwhelming for a lot of fighters, especially in the heavyweight division where you often see slower, more powerful boxers. Tyson, he really broke the mold.
Okay, so that's Iron Mike. In the other corner, we have Angela Mao, a true martial arts legend. Agility, incredible hand-to-hand combat skills. We've all seen her in those classic kung fu movies.
Right, flying through the air, taking down multiple opponents at once.
It's like she's unstoppable.
Her martial arts skills are top-notch, no doubt. But you have to remember, we're talking about a boxing match here, a very specific type of fight. Her expertise is in martial arts, not boxing specifically, meaning she'd be fighting Tyson on his terms, in his world.
That's a good point. So, while she's incredibly fast and skilled, she wouldn't necessarily have that knockout power that Tyson does.
Right, exactly. And, her training wouldn't have focused on techniques specific to boxing, like jabs, hooks, uppercuts, all that.
And according to the sources we have, it sounds like they're saying Tyson would have a pretty clear advantage in this matchup. A knockout victory is what they're predicting.
Yeah, that's a likely outcome given their backgrounds and, like we said, the very specific rules of boxing. But, and this is where things get really interesting, could Angela Mao's speed and unique fighting style pose any unexpected challenges for Tyson?
Oh, okay. Are you saying she might have a few tricks up her sleeve?
Well, think about it. Some of the stuff we read mentioned her background in Eagle Claw Kung Fu.
Right, I remember reading about that.
It emphasizes grappling, joint manipulation, even pressure point strikes, things you wouldn't normally see in a boxing match at all. So, imagine her using those techniques to try and disrupt Tyson's rhythm, or maybe even catch him off guard, something completely unexpected.
That is a really interesting point. So, even though on paper, Tyson seems to have the upper hand, Mao could potentially use her unique skills to try to turn the tables.
Exactly. It's this clash of styles that makes this hypothetical matchup so fascinating.
I have to admit, while I do lean towards Tyson just because of sheer power, the idea of Mao using those martial arts moves to try and outmaneuver him is exciting. What do you think out there, listener? Could speed and agility ever truly overcome raw power in the ring?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's something boxing fans have debated for years.
So there you have it, this epic battle. Tyson, the powerhouse with his peekaboo style and those devastating knockout punches, versus Mao, the lightning-fast martial artist with her unique skills and background. It's tough to call for sure, but here's a fun thought experiment for our listeners. If you could change one rule of the fight to give Angela Mao a better chance, what would it be and why? Think about how even a small change could completely shift the dynamics of this legendary matchup.
It's a great thought experiment for sure. Lots to think about.
Absolutely. And that's a wrap for today. Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of what-if battles.
See you then!